Hey there, everyone. My name is Janelle Summers, and this is the Team Hardcore Training Call. And today's topic is 5 ways to increase team engagement. So if you're brand new and you don't even have a team yet, this is something to take some notes and make sure that you can apply this when you do start building a team, because this is really, really important and something that a lot of coaches struggle with when they start building a team. And for those of you that maybe have people on your team, but they're not really working the business, you're going to have some takeaways with this as well, because you may find that some of those coaches who are not actually working the business are not working the business because they don't have that vision, or because they don't feel like they could make a great coach. They're not involved enough. They don't feel like they don't feel like they really fit in. So there's things that you can be doing to involve them that can take someone from a non-working, so-called discount coach to complete go-getter in this business, who's suddenly like, all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're on the national wake-up call going, yeah, I was one of those discount coaches, or yeah, I didn't think that this was a business for me until my coach did this or did that. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a second here, I'm missing something. So this is something where I hope every coach will get some takeaways from this. I want to make some quick announcements first. Number one, the Super Saturday is coming up, the Super Saturday. Now, in your area, it might be a Super Friday, it might be a Saturday, it might be a Sunday, doesn't matter. When you go into your online office, so go into teambeachbody.com, you log in, and you click on Coach, then Coach Online Office, and then Training and Events, I think it's under, or maybe it's under News and Events, something like that. Training and Resources, I can't remember the exact tab. It's one of those, something like that. And then underneath it, it'll say Events. So that's the word you're looking for, Events. And then I think you just scroll down to maybe the second thing. I think the first one says corporate events, which would be like the leadership retreat. It's right beneath that. You enter in your state and you can find the Super Saturdays that are being held in your state. We, myself, Corey Miller, Meg Kozlowski, are doing a Super Saturday on Saturday, September 23rd here in Toledo, Ohio. And that is from 9 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. And we just found out, and I just announced this on my social media sites, that it is official that Shalene and Brett are coming to visit at that time. And I'm like, I have a Super Saturday right then. So would you want to come? And so anyway, Shalene was all about it. And so she's going to speak at the event and she's going to teach PiYo at the event. Only thing is, when we planned all this and secured space and already put a deposit on the space and contract and all that stuff, we were locked and loaded on the space. We didn't know Shalene was coming. So we have very limited seats. It's going to be a much more intimate event than any of the other events where you've gone where there was like 1,000 people. It's not going to be like that. I wish we could have a larger space, but we're locked in. So get your tickets ASAP. They're actually almost sold out at this point. So make sure that you go to tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com/Toledo Fall Super Sat 2017. So tinyurl.com/Toledo Fall Super Sat 2017. Okay, so that link should work. It's been working anyway. So go there, get your tickets. Make sure your team members know, even if you're not in the area or in the Midwest or within driving distance. By the way, you can make a road trip. But even if you're not within driving distance, let your friends, family members that are coaches, if you have any, or team members that are in that area, let them know. Okay, the tickets are only $15. I'm sorry, we can't do free tickets for this one because that's a whole other story in and of itself, but that ends up being a disaster. So please get to that event if you can. It's going to be awesome. Second announcement is that we are only 1 month away from the UK joining this business. So from UK residents having the ability to become coaches and join in on this awesome, amazing opportunity and be our customers and be in our challenge groups, et cetera, et cetera. The UK folks are already really into Beachbody. Insanity is huge over there. PiYo is huge over there right now. So they're very, very much, Beachbody fans. And it's super exciting. Like I'm so excited. So we're just 1 month away from that. So if you're not talking to your UK Beachbody friends, please be doing that now. And next, I just wanted to make a reminder that all these trainings, all the previous trainings, all of it, the training where Shalene talked about this business opportunity and why it's so, such a great opportunity for the UK Beachbody fans, that is on my training site. All this stuff is on my training site. And all you need is that login, which is, I just tell everyone, it's username Team Hardcore, all lowercase, all one word, Team Hardcore, and the password is fitness. Okay, so you can check out other trainings, you can check out things like that. Lots of things on there. What else? I think that's it. So again, that's on the training site is JanelleSummers.com. Make sure you spell my name right. And then you click login. You can do it right from your phone. Click login, and then the login is Team Hardcore. The password is fitness. And then you click new coach start here if you're someone who's just starting to dig into the business, or you can click trainings, and it says audio trainings, which is really trainings like this. And there's tons of them. Everything you might need to know how to find out to make a, how to do a form, like a JOT form, how to, get more into attraction marketing, how to start a like page, how to anything. It's all there. I swear we've covered everything. Okay. So today what we're going to cover is team engagement. This is something that becomes a big struggle for a lot of coaches that do start to build a team. And I'll tell my story again, even though I've told it before. When I had about 12 coaches on my team, and I thought, I worked really hard, to even get to that point, really, really hard, on top of a full-time job and being a mom, having 12 coaches on my team. That was a lot of hard work. It took connecting with a ton of people. I mean, it took hearing no's from, like 80 people before you have 12 that are actually like, yeah, let's go. But of those 12 people, I only had one person who was really engaging in the business, only one person who was opening up my team emails, only one person who was coming to my trainings, only one person who was really digging in. The others were just kind of like, they'd show up to one thing, or they'd open one email, or they, it was just kind of like totally hobby type thing. And then they were like, I don't understand why this isn't working, because they were missing like everything. So it was frustrating to me. And I just thought, I must not be a good coach. I must not be a good leader. I must not, I just really got down on myself. And I thought it all had to do with me, even though I was working my butt off to engage them and get them trained and give them everything I possibly could. And what I didn't know then, that I learned at that point, was that you cannot motivate people to do something. All you can do is lead by example and equip them, the people who are ready and willing to run. But they have to have that motivation to absorb that information. They have to have that motivation and that discipline to make these things happen and to put these trainings into action. They have to have that themselves. And so I kept thinking, what more can I do to motivate them? And there was nothing more I could do. But one thing I could do was do certain things to engage them. And so one thing I want to remind you of is, number one, that you can't motivate people. They have to be motivated themselves. But you can lead by example, and you can equip them, and you can continue to leave that door open for them. So be doing things where you're doing things with the people who are willing, who are engaged, who are all in, but you're leaving the door open for those other people all the time as well, because you never know when they are all of a sudden going to be ready to run with this. It's really a timing thing in this business. You can have someone that joins one day and they think they're all in, and then something comes up in their life and they're like, I need to back off. I need to back off. And then a year later, maybe 2 years later or whatever, they're like, now this is what I need. Now I'm ready to jump in. And so it's just a timing thing. So never give up on people, and always have an open door for them. I can actually see the comments today. So I see Becky is here, awesome, and Jobette and Barbara. Okay, sweet. So that's fun. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll try and remember to keep checking that. So my very first tip with team engagement is to do team challenge groups. You don't need to do them all the time, for sure, but once in a while, do a challenge group that is just for your team. Now, even with my regular challenge groups, I allow my team members to get in there, like when they're new coaches and they've never been in a challenge group before. My personally sponsored coaches, I want them to be equipped so they can come into my existing challenge group so they can see what that looks like. In addition to, they get challenge group training. But I'm talking about a challenge group that is just specifically for your coaches. So I just did with my team, with my personally sponsored coaches, I did the Sagi Week of Hard Labor with my personally sponsored coaches. So it was just 5 days, and it was super fun. Just to, I mean, I have to say that was one of my favorite challenge groups, just because we all know each other, and I don't know, it was just really fun. So I highly recommend that. And that's an opportunity for you to say, hey, it doesn't matter what your rank is. It doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, it's up to you what kind of criteria you set on a group like that. It is completely up to you. But for me, it was just like, as long as you have Beachbody On Demand and you can access Siggy's workouts, let's go. So I had a bunch of people in that group who haven't, necessarily been working the business. Like some of them not at all, or some of them not recently. And I think and I hope it gave them the opportunity to reconnect and have that feeling again that they're a part of something bigger, and that their fitness journey is something that can impact so many more people, and that they can be a part of something that's bigger than themselves, bigger than their own personal journey. And so that helps people, helps coaches feel that drive again, and feel those the rewards of that again. And it can help them re-engage in the business and feel like they're not an outsider. So doing a challenge group, or even co-hosting a challenge group. So maybe, let's say you only have a couple of people on your team. Maybe the 3 of you want to co-host a free group, or maybe the 2 of you want to co-host a free group, or a challenge group, or a glimpse into coaching, or something else, a webinar, a training, anything. So doing things together. Number 1, challenge group or co-hosting a group. Number 2, you know how we do a team cup challenge twice a year? Why do you have to wait for that? You don't have to wait for that. In fact, if one comes along and you miss the deadline to register, or the timing of it doesn't quite work out very well for you and your team because you were planning to do something else during that month or whatever, you don't have to do it when corporate does it, okay? Do a team cup challenge in October if you want, with your new October coaches, or one in November, or one in December, or whatever. Think outside the box. Don't wait for your upline or for corporate to say, hey, this is what we're going to focus on this month. You need to figure out what you and your team are excited about, what gets you fired up. Think outside the box and do some type of contest, or some type of team cup on your own. And it can be, just you and a few other people, a couple other people, one other person. It could be you and your success partner doing a contest or a little challenge together for, how many people that you can bring on board in a certain month. Sky's the limit, right? But some type of contest or team cup of your own, right? Number 3. Oh, and by the way, I have an example of that. Really, if you were on last week's team call with Jen Delvaux, she mentioned that Brooke Lipoff had this great idea in the Roundtable, which is a Facebook group for just 5-star diamonds and above. And she had this great idea, something she's doing with her team, where they are sending out like cafe latte packages. Anyway, I'm going to show you on screen share what she said about that and what she's doing. Not so you can copy it, because I don't recommend that you just copy what other people do, but so that you can look at that and think of your own ideas. Because that was a great idea, and another way that you can help your coaches who maybe aren't working the business go, oh, okay, that's something I can do. I just need to, get 4 people on board with this, or whatever the number is. And this is something that's fun, and this is something that I know how to do. And it just helps them get their foot in the door. So many times, you guys know, the hardest thing with anything in life is starting. It's starting. That's the hardest thing. The second hardest thing is consistency. So if you can get them started, help them get their foot in the door with something simple, then they might go, this is kind of cool. Now I want to know, how does this business really work? Like, how do these people end up making 6-figure incomes per year and 7-figure incomes per year? Now I'm kind of curious, like, how does this work? And does this really work? And they really start asking questions and really start getting involved. Okay, so the number 3 tip is to do a rally the team type of call. Now, you've probably heard me say this before, but when I was at that point where I had about 12 coaches and only one working it, and I went to a seminar, and the network marketing guru said, go home and do a rally the team type of call, where you just say, hey guys, to everyone on your team, and you can include your coaches as well. It doesn't just need to be your personally sponsored, but to everyone on your team, saying, I've got new information. I've got new goals. I've got new vision. I've got new fire in my belly. I've got new excitement. I have a whole new direction, and I am about to explode. I need to know who's with me. I'm going to do a call on such and such day at such and such time. Get on this call. If you have any interest in working this business and going with me on this, get on this call. So I scheduled my call for 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. I think it was 7 a.m. It might have even been 6 a.m. because I didn't want anyone to say, oh, I'm all in, but I'm busy at that time. I just thought, what is a time that is like, you're only getting on it if you're dead serious about this business. And so my team members who thought they were serious about the business got on that call, and it was only a handful out of that 12. It really was only a handful of people that got on the call. And from that call, I just said, here's what I've just learned. I've learned that I can't drag you. I can't make you want this. I can't make you understand this. I can't make you take the time to understand it. I can't do any of that. All I can do is lead by example. I am flipping excited about this business. I know where I'm going. I've seen these other successful coaches. I'm going there. I can't wait. I love what this business stands for. And I've realized I can't drag anyone into this, but I do want to run with the willing. So I just need to know who are the willing, who of all of you. I love you all, and it doesn't matter to me what decision you make. I love you no matter what, but I need to know who is in. So after this call, contact me and let's go. And from those people, I'm going to assemble what I call my fast track team, my team of coaches who are what I'm going to call my fast trackers. They want to go and run with this business. They don't want it to just be a hobby thing. They want to build a business. And so that's what we did. And I said, okay, that once I figured out who they were, very small number, I said, okay, we're going to get on a Zoom call once a week. We're going to just report into each other just as accountability that we're doing what we need to do. And we're just going to report into each other how many people we've added to our network, how many people we've talked to about this amazing business opportunity and what their names are, so that we can't just go, oh yeah, it's like five people. No, we had to say their names. We also said who we had invited. I think it was at that time, it was suggested that we talk about how many sales we made, but I don't think we really did because I don't like to focus on sales. And then I like to just genuinely help people in fitness. And if it means they don't buy, that's fine. So I didn't focus on that. And then the last one was how many people we followed up with about the business opportunity, because that's the hardest thing. One of the hardest things in this business is talking to people about the business opportunity. It's scary. Talking to people about a product or a program doesn't seem as scary, but the thing that impacts you the most and impacts them the most is the business opportunity, because the business opportunity is what gets people more committed to their fitness, their health, their nutrition, and more committed to inspiring other people along the way. So it's the piece that's the scariest, but it's the piece that's most impactful. So we needed accountability to make sure that we were doing that. So we had to report in who we followed up with about the business opportunity and what their names were. And so we would just do our report in, and that was it. And actually it wasn't even on Zoom call, because I don't think we had Zoom at that time, years ago. We just did it over the phone, and we were done in like 20 minutes, and that's what we did. So and then we moved it to, then I started doing like Diamond and Beyond groups on Facebook. Groups became a big thing on Facebook. So then we kind of moved it online, which might be the way that you handle this, because doing it on a phone call was kind of hard because a lot of us are moms. It was like, well, I can't do that time. I put the kids to bed at that time, and I don't want to impact or interfere with family time. So moving to a Facebook group where everyone could report in when it was a convenient time for them was, in my opinion, a smarter way to help them create that balance in their life, because I always want you guys to have priority to your priorities, okay, and not lose sight of that. So number 4 is team communications. This is getting increasingly difficult for me anyway, because a lot of my team members are in so many groups already. They're running a free group. They've got their own challenge group. They've joined some other Team Beachbody groups out there. They're in my groups. And so groups, a lot of groups. And so it's difficult, but my main form of communication with my personally sponsored coaches is a group that I have specifically for my personally sponsored coaches called the Push to Daily Success. And that's where every single day I ask them, how did your day go? Let us know what's working, what's not. And then I usually tackle like a tip or a motivational something or something that needs to be announced or whatever. So I do that every day. I don't schedule it. It's a live me in there post, and then I, comment back and answer the questions. So that's my daily, plus obviously email and text and voice memos, all of that. So I do recommend, if you have coaches, a team page and, text and voice memos, whether it be voice memo on your phone or voice memo on Facebook, emails, if you do email, just figure out what your mode of communication is going to be. And to be honest, kind of overdo it. If you are just relying on a team page, that might be failing hard, because some people, even though you've got them in that team page, they never see your team page posts. I don't think Facebook is even honest about when it says, so-and-so has seen your post. I don't know if so-and-so really did see your post. Maybe they glanced at it for a second as they were going to do something else. So how do you know if they really saw the post or really read it? So when it comes to a team page, going live in the team page once in a while helps. And also, if you have a smaller team, tag them in the caption every time you post. Another thing I do with my team page is that I set the settings so that only I can post. And the reason I do that is because otherwise, people will get in there and post about random things. Like every time they have a question before they've even looked into finding the answer, they'll post that, or every time. It just can get really messy. And then your personally sponsored coaches are going in there and they're like seeing a bunch of stuff that doesn't pertain to them. And so then they don't see your message and your announcement and your important whatever it may have been. So with mine, it's just me posting, but my team members report in how they're doing, what's working, what's not working, supporting each other. But that way I can control the vibe of the group, which is only positive. And that way they can still post pictures. They can, they can still add to that and contribute to that group in any way they want. It doesn't change that. It just makes it, in my opinion, cleaner and easier for them to find information that I posted or announcements and things like that. So I really think that helps. So team communications was number 4, and it has to do with like a team page. Also doing emails, because some people might see something in an email but not on the team page, or vice versa. So you want to do both. You do have to overlap, and you can copy and paste the same post that you did in your team page, copy and paste it into an email to your team now. You could do that, right? We're just trying to make sure everyone sees it, right? And then let's see what else with team communications. I talked about voice memos, Voxer, HeyTell, voice memo via text, and voice memo on Facebook. All those are amazing options. And I know if you have a larger team and you have to do a lot of texting, or just for your full-time job you have to do a lot of texting, for me, it helps me huge to do voice to text, where you're just saying, "Hi, Sarah, exclamation point. I would love to help you with that right now. I can't, but I will get back with you tomorrow." Saves me so much time to do voice to text. It's not even funny. And then number 5, lastly, my last tip for team engagement is one-to-one engagement, especially obviously with your personally sponsored coaches. Now, I don't recommend that you are chasing your coaches down trying to get them engaged. I don't think that's a good use of your time. You want to be, spending your time with those people who are digging in, and it's clear by the questions they ask if they're digging in. If they're really working their business, they're really applying the trainings that you're doing or that you're pointing them to, that they're applying those things. You can tell by the questions they're asking. So taking the time to voice memo them back, and, be mentoring them one-to-one. When it comes to doing team trainings, I don't recommend that you dig into that really until you're like 2-star diamond, maybe, until you really feel the need. Actually is when you should start doing that. When you feel the need that my trainings aren't filling enough of the training needed for your team, or the trainings that are out there aren't filling that need, that's when you start doing your own. Until then, point them to my trainings. You are still going to be a leader to them, and you need to be a leader to them in all other ways. Like, hey, I'm doing this and this is what's helped, or I did this graphic for you guys just to give you a visual of how this works, and I hope this helps. Like, and getting on live and saying, hey, I applied, this training, and this is what worked and this is what didn't, doing those kinds of things. But full-blown weekly trainings, I don't recommend I don't think it's necessary to do that until you feel it is necessary. So don't just assume that just because you're going for diamond or because you are a diamond that you need to now start doing full-blown weekly trainings for your team, because I didn't when I was at that. I started to, and then I realized, why am I doing that? I'll give my coaches, I'll point them to my uplines team trainings. And then when it got to the point where I felt like I needed to start doing my own, that's when I started doing my own. So until you feel that need, that's when you do things. That's a good rule of thumb for everything. When you see the need, that's when you start doing it. Don't just do it because you saw someone else do it, right? Really think through common sense of things. Because you guys, you don't want to overload your own team members with trainings. We've got the awesome National Wake Up Call. Amazing. We've got these trainings and all the archive trainings on JanelleSummers.com. Everything is there, okay? So don't think that you need to reinvent the wheel for any reason. Spend your time where your time is most importantly spent and most impactful. And lastly, I just want you to remember, you are not responsible for your coach's success. You're responsible for leading by example and equipping them. But those are two big things. Leading by example and equipping them are big. But don't think that you are responsible for their success, because there's no way that you could sit by them on a Thursday night when they need to be maybe working their business. These are their business working hours and they're not working their business, that you can be like, you need to reach out to some people. Remember, these are your business hours. You can't be there. You can't be there to do that. So they have to have that motivation within themselves and that discipline to find those pockets of time that they're committing to their business. And you can't do that for them, right? So what you are responsible for, though, is equipping them. So by equipping them, I mean giving them the vision of what this business stands for, and not what it stands for so much as what it can do for them specifically. You have to believe in that wholeheartedly, the vision of this business, and you have to be continuously giving them that vision of what this business can do. Because I know when I first started off and I was working full-time, way too many hours, had no time in my life, and when I would look at what other successful coaches were doing with their life and with their business, that fired me up. And I was constantly talking to my team about that. I was like, that's what I want. I don't want to have to, my whole schedule and my everyday be controlled by someone else, and my income to be controlled by someone else. And some of the decisions we were making for our family and for Tyler that were based on finances that we didn't have. And we were making decisions based on those things. And I was like, I don't want it to be like that anymore. It doesn't need to be that way anymore. And so that was a driving force for me. But you have to be giving that vision to your team members. The other thing is obviously the tools. So you don't necessarily have to be doing the trainings, but you need to be pointing them to the trainings, right? And giving them a guideline of where to begin, what to do next, right? And giving them the support when they have questions, answering their questions, and just giving them lots of reassurance, building them up. Because if there's anything that helps people start, it's when someone believes in them. Someone believes they can do it. Hopefully it's themselves more than anyone else, but it might be you that ignites that belief in themselves. So with that, I'm going to close. Thank you so much for getting on. I will see you next week. Do we have any questions? Oh, thanks, Chris. Chris says my office looks good. It's a mess over there. Like I can barely walk out of my closet. Things are piled so high. So I try to make this look all calm over in this general area. Jovette, she concurs. That's awesome. Great rule. Oh, I was going to show you. Thank you, Barbara. She saw that in the round table because she's 5-star and above. So let me share my screen real quick. Let me see if I can do this. So for those of you that are still hanging on, let's see if I can do this. Give me 1 second. Oh, shoot, that didn't work. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to see if in 1 second you can see this. You should be able to see it. I'm looking at the other screen and you're not seeing it yet. You're just seeing YouTube. Let's see. Hopefully you can see this. So maybe take a screenshot, but this was just such a great idea, such a great idea. So I'm not gonna read it, obviously you can read it, but I'm gonna scroll down just to show you the picture that she included with this. I'm gonna click on that. Look how cute. Awesome, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back. Whoopsie daisy. Where am I? Where am I? Can you see me now? Hopefully you can see me. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that real quick, just to give you an idea. I thought it was a fantastic idea to get your team involved, to do something fun, and be able to help other people at the same time. That's what we do, right? So with that, have a great rest of your week, everyone. Don't forget about Super Saturday. Get yourself registered, get yourself there. That's going to sell out probably any minute. Don't forget about the UK coming in 1 month. And don't forget about all the trainings that we have available to us, as well as a special specific tab for new coaches. It's called New Coach Start Here. And there's like a dozen trainings there, like everything a new coach could ever want is there. All right. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Thanks for getting on. We'll talk to you next time.